Hey, I'm Grant, and welcome back to Dead Rising Shop Till You Drop. Oh, we're getting right into this. Okay, so I was wondering how they're going to fit this in. This is essentially a case file that's exclusive till Shop Till You Drop, where you go fight Cletus, and you do that in the main game, but it is a story mission in this game. You'll notice how very specifically Otis stopped me to tell me that, and I can't progress the game until I do this because in Dead Rising Shop Till You Drop, you may be noticing I get money when I do scoops. It's the other reason I kind of want to do those scoops is I actually need those resources. And the use of money is you give it to Cletus, and he is a shop owner. So you can buy gun upgrades, more ammo, and books, which in this game, books have their own inventory, and you essentially toggle them on and off, and you unlock more book slots. And that's way different than what it was in Dead Rising 1. I'll have to see what they actually are when I get to Cletus, but I think they're more stuff percentage based, like do more damage to zombies. It's not like in Dead Rising 1 where novelty items last 3 times as long. Ultimately, this is a lot more gunplay focused than it is, I don't know, melee item. So it wouldn't really make sense to have all these books that buff your melee stats when really you're not using those. Oh my gosh, I can't see anything right now. Like, I don't know if this comes across in the video. Really, I can't see Frank other than when he's highlighted or silhouetted against the background. Which I can take a look at this between episodes, see if I can boost the brightness, but I think this is just part of the game. The fact that Frank's as dark as everything else really concerns me, that it's not a setting that I have to tweak. Rather, it's just the game's just dark, so I can turn up the brightness, but you still won't be able to tell the brighter gray blobs apart from the other gray blobs. Fun little fact about the Wii is, so the way the Wiimote works is it's essentially just a TV remote that constantly emits its infrared light. And the way it tells is, it's like how your eyes tell depth perception is there's 2 sensors on the Wii bar. And based off that difference, it can tell where you're pointing because one will hit the sensor faster than the other and there'll be different distances and what have you. As part of that, there's actually a weird workaround if you don't have a Wii controller but you just need that sensor is you can use a candle as a Wiimote. Now, you can't press A, but if it's broken, it will just see that one infrared source and you can calibrate it and it will work. It's weird, but it's infrared light because it's a candle, it's giving off heat. And I guess it's in that same, like, narrow wave band that it gets accepted by the controller, so it works. That being said, a lot of Wii games are action heavy, and I don't know how well you want to be throwing around a candle, but you could. So this is straightforward, it's just gunplay, if I recall. I don't think there's any gimmick to this at all, it's just literally Dead Rising 1 because it was already a gun battle. So, do I have my pistol? It's, so many of these boss fights, I don't actually think they're bad. Again, I think this is a perfectly fine, Wii game. It's just a really weird Dead Rising, knowing how this fight actually goes. Like how, now he's back behind the counter, and I just shot him in the face, but then he's gonna run out, also get, like, bit by a zombie, but then he's going to be fine. Because it has to use the same cutscene as before. So I think maybe they cut that a little bit earlier in this one, just so he doesn't actually show him getting bit. I think there's like a half a second longer in the original version where you see some blood actually flying. And then it cuts to this. He's dead. If not, he'd be dead, if not straight up infected at this point. Whenever a game does that where you have to like give the characters dialogue in their head, I feel like it's obviously a cop-out. Like, oh, we gotta explain this. So this is one of the things I talked about earlier. At the beginning of the game, at some point, you randomly find a blacktail gun, and then it breaks after the entrance plaza scene. And I haven't played this enough to know what the point of it is, but... And I recall, I can't hear this game because I don't have an audio setup, but if I recall... What's weird is every time I talk to him, he does like these weird laughs that are taken from his boss fight. And it's kind of creepy actually. And this is where the books will eventually be, but I have to unlock the books and I have to unlock book slots. And then I guess I can sell back to him too. So here's one thing I didn't fully understand I want to check. So I bought a case, but I don't think I actually bought the ammo. Rather, I think I bought the container. Yeah. So I upgraded these to 100. But if you can get 100 shotgun shots, I should be using this. So let me find where I actually buy the ammo. There may be another story around here. He might not sell me ammo. I might have to actually go out and get it. Or it's in that side stock, rather. So now, that's essentially a case file. I think we'll be lucky for me back. There's a couple things in the original Dead Rising. I think it only happens once or twice where you get that teleport option. The one that comes to mind is after you save Barnaby from Carlito, you get instant teleport back. And it's really rare that you have them, but that means it will auto-save any survivors you have. Which is important if you're going for something like Frank the Pimp, and you are going to complete the game. That means you essentially can't do that case file, or you can't take the woman from the very first couple.
What gives? Considering the helicopter and all, we have to work together. But that doesn't mean we can tell you everything. And everything we do tell you can't necessarily be printed.
Yeah, so?
So, I just want you to appreciate the situation.
Well, we're up to our necks in zombies. Yeah, I think I appreciate the situation just fine.
Zombies. I still can't believe all this, you know? Seems so unreal.
You all right there?
Yeah, I got it.
You should rest a while, Brad.
You go ahead and catch some sleep first. We can switch in 4 hours, okay?
So I might have more missions from Otis. Okay, yes. So, yeah, I think this isn't exactly a case file, but it's a weird scoop because one of the things that's different about Chop Till You Drop is the use of the Wonderland Plaza shortcut. And it will be explained when I save Greg, if I do it. If it wasn't for the timer, I've always wanted to try and do a video that's just, if I leave a Dead Rising game running for a week straight, how many zombies will just die? Oh, God. I am just blindly running forward right now. I don't even know if I want this to be shown in the YouTube video, because if it is, I am just sprinting in the dark. I've never had a game that's this bad on darkness. And what I think I'll have to do is, when next time I come back, there's a trick in the original Dead Rising game where you pick up the... Where am I going? This toy laser sword. So to the left should be the park. That's the fountain. Where you pick up the toy laser sword, and since it glows, it acts kind of as a little flashlight. And that makes it a lot more playable at night. And that was something, apparently, some people, they have to do in the original Dead Rising for the 360. Is there was no, oh yeah, it's slightly better if you pick it up, but it may or may not be worth it. No, it was a requirement to play the game. Gosh, I'll try and... If anything, I can try and fix this in post, so hopefully you guys can see a little bit more than I do. But as of right now, I don't want to lose the footage just so I can fix it. Because I think one of the important things is I want to capture my experience when I do these games of me going through it for the first time. Because ultimately, while this is interesting, I do kind of want to retain a certain level of me being bad at this game. Otherwise, it just turns into this weird showcase of me running around and knowing exactly all the jump scares, so to say. Or, well, what's the point of it if I'm running around and I'm doing every single thing perfect? Like, it's interesting to say Dead Rising 1, which a lot of people have played, and there's a certain level of skill behind that. But I'm really afraid that in this game, it would just cause a lack of gameplay. Man, I think this is more or less about as far as I've made it. I don't think I could play this if I didn't have this arrow, which was amazing, and actually have a pretty good knowledge of what's in this game. Adam the Clown might be a real obstacle right here. This is intimidating, actually. I kind of enjoy that I'm kind of afraid. I don't know how to navigate these areas because they're so dark. I believe this is unchanged. But I'm really sad that one of the items you can't get in this game to wear is his little hat. If anything, I would love the hat, if not the full costume. I wish they would have taken the clothes just a whole nother step. Like, they still do it in Dead Rising 4, they do it in Dead Rising 2 and Off the Record, and even 3. But I would love to have seen them like really flesh that system out. And I think one of the big debates that a lot of people have had is whether or not people want clothes to do things for you. Because on one hand, that adds depth to the game. Stuff like in Dead Rising 2, you can get the Knight's armor, so that it's a really nice unlock. Or in Off the Record, you can get the Proto Man suit, which makes you run faster and do more damage. But then people are afraid that if you do simple stuff like that, like say if you could wear a gas mask to, I guess, be less affected by gas zombies in Dead Rising 2, or if you could wear a military vest and you'll be less damaged from bullets or something. I know a lot of people are afraid, well, I like being able to run around in a dress as Frank, and if they change that, well then everyone's just gonna be wearing the same thing, because this is the optimal outfit. Wow, straight into that prompt. So, I'm guessing I can use the same tactic as I do in the other version of this game, where essentially what I need to do is... Okay, this might be easier. Normally he just blocks, but I don't think he's going to do that. What I need is that balloon. Oh, that was not the balloon. Apparently it's only knives with this guy. There we go. He's going to drop it. I'm going to pop it. Oh, man. This is a problem. Okay, so I guess I had to reload my gun. That was on me. So I'm going to use a juice. I might as well switch to my rifle. God, I can't move side to side. Okay. This is interesting. Oh, I don't even use the Wiimote for this one. I use the actual control. Interesting that... Okay. Okay, let's go shotgun. I don't think I have pistol ammo. Still. And I don't actually know any great way to check at the moment. I think I could just pull up my inventory, but I need food. I would think there should be at least an apple in here. Normally my classic cheese for this fight, that didn't include... Goddamn. That didn't include shooting is you could get the Asian tourists to come with you, and he just ignores them. So you just give them hunting rifles. There you go. Damn it. So you just give them hunting rifles, and they just slowly kind of peck at him. Oh great, he's woozy. I don't know how much health he has. One nice side effect is, in the original Dead Rising, you don't know when he is essentially in a damaged state and you can hit him. But in this game, since you have this reticule, if it's red, I can hit him. Whereas now I know, like, oh, when he's on the ground, I don't need to bother. But I like that I can actually hit him down there, which is something I don't think was true. Can you stop with these knives? I don't really have any way to dodge these. I just have to kind of run away. Because I can't sidestep in this game. So I have to actually look away from him if I want to dodge those. Okay. Oh, that's an issue. It's not even going to let me out of his sight. Oh god. This is intimidating just because it's so dark, and I know he's like right behind me. And every time I go for a reload, it's gonna be tough. I should be able to get into one of these stores. And I'm hoping, just due to the fact that there's not a lot of items in this game, there has to be food, generally, in most stores. God damn. Those balloons go forever, by the way, until they hit something. Normally, they would eventually hit a zombie, but it looks like it deloaded a lot of the zombies. Oh gosh. Why won't you die? Maybe I was wrong and I actually can't damage him at the points I think I can. Oh god. If I'm gonna run out of shotgun ammo, that's going to essentially just screw me. Luckily though, I do have a save, so... Where are you at? Yeah, I think that arrow at least constantly points at him. And I assume there's no point of me going in for a melee strategy with this guy. Yeah, that's... Okay. Let's do a tally. So I have only rifle ammo. And I guess a queen. He shouldn't reach towards me. Oh, he did. Oh, wait, I guess the rifle must zoom you out because he was way too close. Okay, I'm gonna go beat this guy and I'm gonna cut back. Hey, we got it. Apparently maybe that was better. I don't know what I did differently other than I just stabbed him. I'm guessing that maybe his block isn't as powerful in this game, so that I was able to get some damage, but... Or maybe the rifle was just better. It seemed that he actually has this animation where he will go down, so I was able to hit him in the gut and then just like pop a headshot, and that seemed to help a lot better. But man, his spin attack is lethal. It's really lethal in Dead Rising 1 originally, because he can just like juggle you, but I think I died at least one other time, where he just like comboed me straight from full health down to 0. So I'm going to skip this one because I'm sure everyone's seen that. Essentially, you get Greg here off a ride. Greg is an employee of the mall, and he's going to introduce us to an important shortcut. And I don't think I need to escort him. So, these are still really good, but considering how prevalent guns are in this game, it's usually not worth it to come get these chainsaws. Whereas Dead Rising 1, for a lot of people, was defined by this being one of the best weapons you would use for the entire game after killing him. And in my opinion, a lot of times if you're new to Dead Rising and you're like at day 2, it's usually best to sometimes just straight up restart, just because killing Adam not only gives you this amazing weapon, it gives you this amazing shortcut. But I know when I went in, essentially the first psycho is Carlito in the food court, which is, generally speaking, pretty damn easy. But then I believe the next one who's available is, God, Adam the Clown, and he's much tougher. So I want to point this out. For years, I thought that the shortcut was just like you somehow get behind the mirror or something. There's actually a hatch on the ceiling, and that's what you're going through, I believe. Okay. So this is the only point where we use the shortcut normally, and that's to demonstrate what it is. Rather, later on in the game, what the shortcut does is you have to pay for it before you go out, I think. And then it will reduce your score to account for the fact that it cuts your time down ridiculously.